Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do a database video related on the normal forms. So there's 5 normal forms plus one bonus one I'm going to show in this video that will help you design better database schema and generally how I design database schemas for clients. And I'm basically going to walk through every single one of them, where the first one is going to be the easiest, and then at the 5th one it's going to get harder. So let's jump right into it. All right, so I got my DB here connected to one of my local PostgreSQL database, and we're going to start by showing you a basic schema I created, so YouTube examples just to show you guys. Let's refresh it to see that there's nothing there. And then let's start with showing you basically what is a bad practice, what is an unnormalized table, as an example before we get into the normal forms. So the first one we're going to show here is in a company kind of setting where you would like to have, a database that has, employees with departments and skills and certifications. So all across the examples, that's what we're going to see. So the first one would be to basically take a look at, an employee and project relationship, but unnormalized, right? So basically what we have is we have a create table with an employee ID, an employee name, departments, project names, and skills, right? Now, the problem that you might see is it's fine to have all these characteristics, but there's multiple things that are not respected here. So one of the first rules of the first normal form is to basically not have more than one value in a field, right? So if you're having a string column, what you shouldn't do is not have comma separated values, right? Which we can see here. So the way you would fetch that after that is you'd have to unpack basically the string, split it by comma, which completely defeats the purpose of having a database where you can have multiple rows, right? So that's the first thing. Now, again, same thing with the other columns. We have multiple values and stuff, so that's something we don't want to do. So that's going to be basically most rules like this are going to violate the first normal form, which I'm going to show you. But this is an example of what a badly formed unnormalized table could be. So here, guys, we have our example for the first normal form. So you can see the difference here. It's a bit subtle, but it's very big. So as you can see, department, project name, and skill are singular, right? There's no plural here. Compared to the one on normalized, we can see that there's skills, project names, and departments, which you can see we store multiple values in a single column row combination. So the difference with the first normal form is you actually have only one atomic value per column. So you don't have a comma separated array. And basically what you can do instead is scale it at the row level, which is the whole idea of a database, a relational database. So as you can see, what we would do instead is scale it at the employee level, right? So same employee ID, same employee name, different departments, but also different project names and different skills, right? We don't need to store everything in one row. That's the idea of a relational database. So this is the first rule, to not have any more than one atomic value in a single column. And the reason for that is basically that every cell should be filterable and queryable without having to do any casting or transformation. That's the base of a relational database, and this is why it's so great. And the reason you want to be able to query it like that is it's going to make indexing, aggregating, querying, where clauses, joins, all the more simple, because if you need to unpack every time you need to join or do any other type of queries, it's a very big hassle. So now let's get into the second normal form. But before, I'm going to talk to you why this first normal form example is actually not respecting the second normal form, right? So like I said, we're going to go incremental, where we implement a new normal form rule every time. So you can see that the problem here is that if our employee name changes, we basically need to update every row that has, department, project name, and skill, right? So the rule basically for the second normal form is every non-key column must depend on the entire primary key, right? So in this specific case, since we have multiple primary keys, so we can have, department, project name, skill, and employee ID, we have basically 4 different primary keys in the same row, right? And what happens is you'll actually need to change basically the value of one of the columns and affect multiple rows, which is going to be very expensive as a big update query. So what you would do instead is separate it in multiple tables, right? So we're basically going to separate the employees data, so employee ID, employee name, and department. And after that, we're going to have projects with project ID and project name. This way, let's say we were to update the project name for a specific project ID, or we were to basically change a project ID by another one. What we need to do instead is only change one ID of the row, let's say for the combination of employee, project, assignments, which is going to be way more efficient than if you need to change not only the employee ID, but employee name, project ID, project name, all these things, right? So this way, it basically makes the composite primary key, which is right here, the single primary key that another column can reference, right? So that's the idea, is you always have only one non-key column that can reference a primary key. So this would be how the second normal form would work. This will just basically make every update operation really much faster, and it's not necessarily going to impact the querying speed because it doesn't change a whole lot in terms of what you have to do to query the data. You're maybe going to have a bit more joins to do because you still need to join your employee ID to the employees table to be able to get the name. So you might get a little bit more latency, but the updates are way more costly than if you are to do joins and queries to get another table. Now let's get into the third normal form, and this is one that is really interesting because we can actually see it in this second normal form that there's one of the issue, right? You might have noticed that we have the department column right here, and the problem with that department column is basically it's called a transitive dependency, is because we're basically trying to jump from employee, department, and back to department location, right? So one thing that might happen is, let's say you have an employee that changes department, right? He goes from, I don't know, working in the sales to working in marketing. Well, the problem might be that you'll need to actually track that, right? So in here, you actually need to change the whole value of the department as a text value, right? So you would put marketing here or coding or whatever it is. Now, this doesn't respect the third normal form because basically the rule is that non-key columns must depend only on the primary key, right? So in that case, we have basically employee name and department, which are 2 non-key columns. And employee name works on depending on employee ID, but department is totally independent from the employee ID, right? Like a project name could be in another department and all these things. So we need to add another table to store the department ID and the department name. So let me show you how you could do this. So in the normal form example, what we'd have instead is we have the employees table, and we have our employee ID and name. And we basically have our department ID that has a foreign key constraint to a department table, right? So what would happen is you then have an ID, a name, and a location for this different department. In case that the employee changes basically his department, all the data would be updated just by changing the ID, right? Which is going to be way more faster than and way more manageable than if you need to change the actual value in the department itself. So this is how the third normal form works. The reason this is so great is basically it allows us to, let's say, change department location only once, right? Because let's say here we were to use department, we cannot have any other data related to that department, stored. So in here we have department name and department location, right? So if we change the department ID, if someone does it from a UI or something, basically when it changes in the employees table, it's going to change all the rest, right? The department location, the department name. So this is why this is so great. Now the third normal form is very, a solid rule, but there's an even more strict rule, which is called Boyce-Codd normal form, which is very another level. So I'll show you what it does. So the problem is that here what could happen is you have something like this, right? So you have your room ID, your room name, and your building name. So basically, the rule is that every determinant must be a candidate key. And what that means is if room names determines basically the building name, right? Room name itself must be unique because you cannot have more than the same room name for the same building name, right? So the problem here is you'll basically end up having duplicate values if you don't put the room name as unique, right? So it will remove basically rare anomalies where, you'd have collision between, let's say, your department name or your location name, right? So this is why if you put this as unique, you're gonna be way safer in terms of having anomalies in your data to, I don't know, have the same room name as the building name or something. So this is just another safeguard to add as the Boyce-Codd normal form. Now, to explain the fourth normal form, I'd like to go back to our first example, which is the first normal form. And the problem here is that, as you can see, we basically have, employee ID, employee name, department, project name, skill. Now, the problem is basically if you want to display all the skills for, a specific employee, you'd basically have to create endless amount of rows to basically display all the skills, right? So the main problem is that this is going to be a Cartesian product if you need to also combine it with other columns, right? So I'll give you an example. So let's say that a specific employee has developed the same skill on department, project name, but also multiple of them, right? So what would happen is you basically have, let's say Postgres skill for search engine, chatbot, and let's say, printers, right? What would happen is the equation would basically be 3 times 3, right? Which would need to create you 9 rows of different combination. So to reduce that ability, you would actually need to break this down into further tables. So I'll show you what this would do in the fourth normal form. So here we have an example of how you can handle it, right? So you have your employee skills, which is your employee ID that contains the skill, and you create a primary key out of that. So obviously you can only have the unique skill for one employee ID. You cannot have it multiple times. Maybe there's different levels and stuff, but we're not going to go into that today. And you do the same thing for employee ID with certification. And then what happens is you can actually import those skills into a table to basically prevent us from having to repeat and do a Cartesian product, which causes an explosion of rows needed to store that data, which is basically what fixes the rule of no independent multi-value dependencies that you can introduce if you don't add that kind of structure. Now, this is going to fix basically if an employee has more than one skill and many certifications, which what would happen, like in the example I showed, that you could have basically if you have certifications and skill, it's basically going to be a multiplication of both of those to store all these combinations. So this is what this will fix. Now, the 5 normal form rule is basically the most extreme of it all. It's basically to decompose tables until they cannot be further lossless split. And basically what it means is you basically add as many relationships as possible, right? So your tables are going to be very, normalized. They're going to be very small and are going to have as little data as possible, using as much as the database as possible in terms of keys, primary keys, foreign keys. So it's going to be using 100% of the relational database aspect of a relational database, right? Now, this is mostly used in very complicated enterprise system because it just, it is just very safe to store data that way. And in most day-to-day use cases, you might not have a system that is as, broken down as this, because it introduces another complexity, which is developer experience, right? Because you need to know what these tables do, how to get specific data. So there needs to be a lot of documentation to access a specific piece of data, right? So the most, kind of databases you would see this is, like logistics, enterprise systems, supplier, production, region systems. Now, and the whole goal with this is to basically, avoid hidden join dependencies, which you might miss if you have, a lot of columns in a specific table. It's also going to be extremely light to query the data, because you can do joins, and you have very small table that have a very specific primary key that you can join on. So let's say we give an example. So we have our suppliers table, our products table, and our regions table. And basically the way you would bind, let's say, supplier products is you'd reference both the suppliers and products, right? Because what would happen is you might have multiple products for suppliers, and you might have multiple suppliers for product, right? So you'd want to be able to basically create a primary key out of both of these, but not only on one of these, because you could have multiple combination of these two. And now same thing for product regions, is you could basically sell the same product in another region and vice versa, which again you will want to create a composite primary key out of that. And finally, you do the same thing for supplier regions, right? Because you could have the same supplier in multiple regions, but also in multiple regions have multiple suppliers. So this is what the fifth normal form represents. It's really about using as much as possible the relational aspect of a database. So if you guys enjoyed this video and have any questions on specific specific parts of this video, feel free to leave a comment down. If you'd like to contact us to basically get in touch and how we can help you in your database project, feel free to contact us in the contact form down in the description that we'll leave, and we'll really be happy to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, leave them down. Otherwise, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.